We're going to turn to our top tips section now, and the aforementioned Pete is going to kick this off for us and tell us about a nifty trick in Gmail, but I guess it can work in other places, that you can use to enter long text strings in a shorter way using the keyboard. Hey, Pete.
Hi, Ed. Thanks for that. Yeah, we're just really looking today at how we can make life easier when you're having to use the keyboard. Of course, the easiest method would be to use speech to text, but sometimes that's not appropriate and you just need fine control over what you're typing. So I've got 3 quick tips here. Let's start with the first one. Maybe a lot of people know this, but if you're typing a sentence and then you've got to the end of the sentence, finding the period and then hitting the space can be a little bit cumbersome and slow. So there's a very quick tip. Just press the space bar twice, 2 quick taps, and it'll place the period for you and then a space. So I guess people know that. It's been around a while, but it's worth mentioning. Cursor control, something that's been around on iPhone and iOS for quite a while. We now have it in Android as well. So if you want to be able to move the cursor back through text that you've typed previously, just long press the space bar, and then it starts to control the cursor. So you can move your finger along either forwards or backwards along the space bar, and it'll move the cursor to a different point in text that you've typed. So you can make a correction if you need to, or insert a word or a character. So that's cursor control. Been around in iOS for a while, but we've got it in Android now as well. And then finally, just to finish really with the one you introduced us with, Ed, which is if you've got a long string of text that you type quite often. So typically your email address, that's something that you use quite often, isn't it? Or it might be something like a social security number or something like that. There's a way that you can have a shortcut put into your keyboard so you don't have to type it out every single time. And that's super easy. I would say don't ever do this with passwords because you got to keep those secure. So things like email address or other strings of text works fine. So to do it, you go into the Gboard settings, and the shortcut for doing that is down in the left-hand corner of your keyboard, not the very left button, but the next one in. On my language, it's a comma, but you just long press on that key, and after a long press, that will launch into your Gboard settings. Select Dictionary, then Personal Dictionary, and that will present a list of languages that you've got installed at the moment. So for me, I just have the one language installed. So hit that language, and then you've now finally got to the stage where you can put your shortcut. So hit the plus button, which is in the top right-hand corner, and you're presented with 2 input text boxes. The first one is where you key in the string of text that you want to use. So that could be your email address. So enter that there. And then the next input box is where you put the string of text that you want to use as the shortcut. So bear in mind, you don't want to use a word that you would type normally. So some kind of string of letters that you're not going to type normally, that becomes your shortcut. And then you can hit the back button and it's already there, it's saved. And then what you'll find is that in future, when you're using your keyboard, if you type in those letters that you've entered as the shortcut, the first suggestion in the list of suggested words will be the string of text that you entered, so your email address. So it's nice and easy. You just type in the shortcut and it will give you that as your first suggestion. And those are the keyboard top tips for this week.
Thanks, Pete. I certainly didn't know about some of those. I'll be using those, definitely the string text, and I didn't know about the cursor one either. So definitely be taking a look at that probably straight after this, actually, because I'm a bit behind on the emails. So a bit of typing and editing to do.